Today's Community, a weekly talk show that spotlights people from your community that are knowledgeable experts in their respective fields. And now, today's show.
Hi everyone, this is Sheila Tucker of Today's Community, and today my guest in the studio is Yami Furlong from Remax Advantage. Yami, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And on a normal, I like to get to know, or I like my audience to get to know the person in the booth a little bit better before we actually talk about the business. So could you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. Well, like you said, I'm Yami Furlong with Remax Advantage, and I have been a real estate agent for the past 4 years. I'm based out of the Louisville area, and I just like to help people buying homes and do this for a living.
And what got you into the real estate business? What was your passion for it?
Well, I had been in the travel industry for a little over 13 years, and I got married, so I was a little tired of being on a plane and a different hotel every night. And I got out of that, and I still had that drive for sales and marketing. And I also wanted to help people. So I looked at real estate as a good option to do both things at the same time, and it came just as a natural thing to do. And I switched gears from being in the travel industry to becoming a real estate agent. And what I like to do is just help people materialize their dream of becoming a homeowner.
That's just wonderful. And can you help people outside of this local area?
Oh yeah, I have a license in Texas.
Okay, so anybody in the state of Texas can call you?
Yeah.
Great. Well, can you tell me what the first step would be to buy a home?
Yeah. The very first thing to do if you want to become a homeowner is to get pre-qualified. What this means is go to a financial institution, whether it's your favorite bank or a mortgage company, and help them determine if you are eligible to get a loan. The way this takes place is they take a look at your financial situation, your income, your debt to ratio, your debt ratio, to see how much you owe versus how much you bring in every paycheck, and your credit score, which is your FICO. And once they do that, they will determine what kind of loan, the amount, and the interest rate that you will be getting according to the guidelines of that particular financial institution.
So once I would get pre-qualified, what would I have to do next?
The next thing is once you get the mortgage approval process, that's my fun part. That's my favorite part, because that's when you get to wish for whatever is you have in mind and choose a house. You can start selecting from the criteria that you have in mind, from the price range to number of rooms, the square footage, the area, and most people don't know that as a realtor, I have access to the MLS, which is the system, the multi-listing system, where you can have access to all kinds of listings, which is the houses that are for sale. And if it's listed by me or by my office or any other real estate agency out there, I can show it to them. And just my job is to make their life easy, because I can put together all the searching and get all that burden out of their hands, and just go to look at as many showings as possible in one morning that will optimize their time, instead of them having to go every single day through the internet and looking for all the options. I can do that for them.
So what should we look for in a home?
Well, the very first thing is location. What kind of neighborhood are you looking for? And this is where you can check if it is surrounded by houses that are, in good shape, if it is close to your job, if it is close to your school, or the kids' school, which is something very important, that commute is not that long, that is surrounded by houses that are updated or remodeled, and also very important, people don't know this, the homeowners association's fees are sometimes very high. So that's an important thing that needs to be considered. Aside from the location, then the sky is the limit. You know, the number of rooms, the square footage, if it has a backyard, a big backyard, if you want the garage door on the front or in the back, you know, all those things.
So what about buying a foreclosure? Are they a good option?
Lately, the market is bombarded by foreclosures and short sales. Now, if you have the money in your pocket or saved to fix it up, and you don't have a restriction in time, yes, a foreclosure or a short sale will be a good option. However, if you don't, then let's just stick to a regular individual home and not worry about it. Now, the difference between a foreclosure and a short sale. A foreclosure is a house owned by a bank that has already been foreclosed upon, in which the bank owns it. Most likely, they will not help you with any closing costs, or sometimes they do, but they certainly don't help you with any repairs, and they do not disclose what's wrong with the house. You just buy it as is. A short sale is an unapproved sale of the house in which the seller puts it out on the market for the buyer to bring an offer. Once they get an offer, they go to the mortgage company that owns that loan and see if the offer gets approved. Now that can take a long time because the mortgage companies are swamped with these many things. So it might take, it might take 90 days, maybe 6 months, or up to a year, and you're still waiting. During that period, you're waiting to get the approval, while the buyer could probably get another house that is less stressful than this one.
Okay. On a mortgage loan, what type of mortgage loan should I get?
Well, that depends on when you get pre-qualified. The most common type of loans are either an FHA, which is by the government, and you need a 3.5% down payment, and usually it's a 30-year with a fixed rate, and those are the most common ones right now because they're very friendly. And the other type of loan is a conventional loan. However, with a conventional, you need to put down a 5% down, and the credit score for an FHA required is 640, whereas on a conventional is around the 720s. So that can make a difference. So what I usually recommend, if you're a first-time home buyer or you've never had an FHA loan in your life, go for an FHA loan. Those are the most popular ones and the friendliest ones right now.
And when would I have to make my first mortgage payment?
Well, the first mortgage payment is due on the first day of the second month. So if we close on the house, let's say December the 15th, your first payment will not be until February the 15th, February the 1st. So that gives some time for people to, budget a little bit more when they move into the house.
And, hey, could I just go borrow the money from my parents or a family member for a down payment?
Certainly you can do that. You just have to justify it to the mortgage company that is giving you the loan. There is a special letter that has to be written to justify that, and the money has to be at least 30 days in the account, and you have to tell either your family member or your parents. You need to let them know that they will be requested they will be required for a banking statement showing the money is there and it was not a cash withdrawal from a credit card just put into the amount. It has to be seasoned. But yes, you can certainly do that, and a lot of people do that, especially if there are first-time home buyers that are young people, like a young couple. they usually borrow money from the money. And that's great. I think it's a great option to do.
Well, Yami, you've given me all of the things that I need to do to go out and get a house. Why would I need to use a realtor?
Well, people don't know this. As a buyer's agent, my commission comes out paid out from the seller. So you get all the benefits of being represented at no cost. So that's the first thing is my services are free. Second, I have the experience. I do this every day. It's how I make a living. So I know how to deal, how to negotiate, how to get the best deal out of it for my buyers. And as a realtor, you have to get continuing education in order to keep your license. So I hold an ABR, which means accredited buyer representative. That means that I have certain education that will give them more benefit for them as the buyers. And I also have a certification on short sale and foreclosure. So that, with the way the market is, that gives me a little bit more experience in dealing with them. And I will always fight for their best interest. So why not get this, hire a pro for free?
Wow. Never thought of it that way. So tell my audience, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, the best thing to do is call me on my cell phone. That's usually with me. And my phone number is 972-849-5713. Or they can send me an email at yfurlong@rmxadv.com.
And your last name is spelled Furlong?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's Y Furlong, Furlong at rmxadv.com.
Exactly.
Yami, thank you for being on the show today. It has been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better in what you do. It's also a pleasure knowing that there's somebody out there that is trying to help the consumer.
Exactly. And, being bilingual, I speak Spanish fluently. If anybody out there that is, their mother language is Spanish, I can always help them. Porque yo hablo español, soy totalmente bilingüe. So if you guys want somebody that can help you in your own language, just give me a call.
You've been listening to today's community with Yami Furlong of RE/MAX Advantage, and we will see you next week.
Tune in next Monday at 10 a.m. for another segment of Today's Community. Thanks for listening.